Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the lesson tool in Moodle to add and display content for students in an organized way. This is a great tool for your online classes, but it can also be used for face-to-face classes if you're having students review content before they come to class. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to scroll down to the bottom of the page and select Create a Learning Activity and select the lesson tool. And you can really do this any number of ways. You can put all of your content on one lesson, or you can break it up into several lessons. It really just depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to make this first lesson just kind of a module overview. And so I'm going to save and return to course. And I'm going to move this by clicking the arrow to the top of the page because I want it to go under the Engage heading. And now I'm going to click on the name of the lesson to edit it. When you click on it your first time, you're going to come to this page and it'll ask you what would you like to do first. The two options that you're going to be selecting from are add a content page or add a question page. A content page is where you put content, your pictures, your images, your video, your text. A question page is where you check for understanding or may add, quiz-like questions about the content that you just displayed. So I'm going to select add a content page. And I'm just going to call this overview, or better yet, we'll say about this module. And I'm just going to copy and paste some content that I have here. And once I do that, there's going to be buttons at the bottom that say Content 1, Content 2, Content 3, and 4. These are your navigation buttons, and you have some options about what you can do. So I'm going to say Next is the name of the button, and the action is I want it to jump to the next page. So I'm just going to save page. Great, and I'm going to click this drop down button under Actions under this first page to say I want to add another content page. And this time I'm going to call it Introduction. I'm going to add a YouTube video. And I'm actually going to embed the YouTube video and not just paste it. So let me just pull this over right quick. So I'm going to click the share button, and instead of copying the share link, I'm going to click embed, and I'm going to copy that code. Once I've done that, I'm going to paste the embedded video here by clicking the drop down arrow. I'm going to select the embed symbol in the editor menu. It matches the one from YouTube, and I'm just going to paste it right there. If I click this, it'll close it, and you can see there my video is. So I'm going to start with a video, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some text and some pictures. And I'm going to copy and paste it here at some point anyway. Great, I'm going to copy and paste it right there, and here's some text. Now notice how I have this image here, and then I have the text below it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click the image video, and I'm going to make the alignment left so that the text will come around it. And I'm also going to just change the size of this just a little bit because I think it's too big. So now you can see that my image is smaller and the text wraps around it. I think that looks great. This time for my navigation, I'm going to say previous because I want them to have the ability to jump to the previous page. And I'm going to add a second navigation button that says next, and that allows them to jump to the next page. So I'm going to save page. Okay, I'm going to add one more content page here, and then next we'll get to a question page. So I'm going to call this one a prehistory of psychology. So notice I'm able to add text, videos, and images, and I'm just going to copy and paste this. You could also provide links to additional websites or articles that you wanted them to read here as well. So I'm going to add that. And again, I'm just going to add my same buttons. I want a previous, and I want it to jump to the previous page. And I want a next button that goes to the next page. Excuse me. I'm going to save page. Okay, so now I've got 4 pages. Oh, shucks, I forgot to add an objectives page. No big deal. So what I can do is I want that to go right after about this module. So I'm going to click add a content page right below that page, and I'm going to call it objectives. And then I can just again, I'm just going to copy and paste those learning objectives over here. So one thing I would suggest doing is you could do this as you go, as you're creating the content, or you could use a Word document that's got all of the content you want, and then you can just copy and paste it. Okay, and you see now my objectives are right below about this module. Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a question page. This is the second type of page that we're going to add. And notice it says select a question type. So I can ask a multiple choice question, a matching question, a question that has a numerical answer, short answer question, which is really just a fill in the blank question, a true false question, or an essay question, which is any open response question. If you select an essay question or open response question, you will have to manually grade those responses, but you can still ask those questions and grade them in this tool. I'm going to do a true false question just to make things easy, and I'm going to select add a question page. So I can name this, so I'm just going to call this comprehension check 1. And I'm going to say this is the true false question, and I'm going to say true or false, psychology is derived from philosophy. And okay, if you are a psychologist or a philosopher, please forgive me if my answers are incorrect, but I'm just going to say that the correct response here is true because it asks for the correct response, and it asks for feedback, so you can type the kind of feedback that you want students to receive. And if they get this correct, I'm going to say that it jumps to the next page, and they get a point of 1. The wrong answer would be false. And if they get it incorrect, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in the content from the course that states the answer, or that I think states the answer, right? So, and then I'm going to say try again. And because I want them to try this again, I'm going to say the wrong answer just jumps and stays on this page. So it stays on this page and gives them another opportunity to answer. Yes, this is a true-false question, but if this was a multiple choice question, students would have another chance to read about the content, get the right answer, and then go back and try again. So now that we've done this, and I'm going to add one more content page just for the heck of it, I guess. I'm going to add one more content page here. And then we're going to go ahead and preview this. Great, I've pasted my content. Going to go ahead and left align this. I'm actually going to right align this image. Let's do something different this time. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Great. All right, and let's go ahead and do our navigation. Previous. Actually, we're going to do previous, but we don't want them to go back. Remember, the question before was actually a quiz question. And if a student wanted to go back, let's say to review content, we don't actually want them to go back to the quiz question page. We want them to go back to the page before that, which was the prehistory of psychology. So even though it still says previous, I'm going to skip past the quiz page to the previous content page. And I'm going to click next here. Great. I'm going to save the page. Great, so let's go to preview. So now I'm going to go to preview to see what students would see. Now at the bottom, it says you will not see the progress bar because you're an editor. But what students will see is as they advance through the lesson, there's a progress bar that tells them what % of the content they viewed and completed. So about this module, here's that content. Also, it says ongoing score is only displayed for student. So if you are a student, once they have a score, it'll say 1 out of so-and-so. So it lets them know their score as they go. Here's my objectives page. Here's my introduction page with the video and the content. And I can scroll down and click next. And here's a little bit about the prehistory of psychology. And I also want to say at the bottom, there's a lesson menu as well. So students can also navigate the different sections of the lesson using this menu too. So I'm going to select next. Here's that question page. Let's go ahead and say false so that you can see the type of feedback it gives me. And as a student, it has my answer, and then it has feedback that tells me, psychology can be found in philosophy and physiology. And then it says try again. So when I click continue, it gives me an opportunity to try again, select the right answer, and now it moves me forward in the lesson. So you can see how that works. And this is the last content page. So when I click next, it says, congratulations, you've reached the end of the lesson. So they can click this link to return to their original course, which is what we're going to do. So that's it. That's how you can add and use the lesson tool to edit or create new content for your course. If you have any questions, you can email me at ajkroom@bsc.edu, or you can reach out to the help desk at helpdesk@bsc.edu. Thanks for watching.